Turn on your fans. With a lot of newer fans going to remotes and also getting harder to work on, it's the end of the road for DIY repairs for newer ceiling fans. Now take my Belhaven for example. This is a 22-year-old fan. This fan just turned 22 in April. This fan is from April of 2004, and this fan is still going. Now, this fan has a few problems, but they're easily fixable. To where as for this newer fan, if it starts having problems, it could be harder to fix. And trying to find parts for a newer fan is going to be harder because you don't even know if there's going to be parts available because the fan hasn't even been out that long. Now, since this is a older Harbor Breeze, even though it's still newer, you can sort of kind of still find parts for this. Now, they do have a similar fan to this called the Lake Canton. It's basically the cousin fan of this fan. The only difference is that it has pull chains, but it looks exactly the same. And most newer fans come with sealed bearings, which makes it impossible to try and oil the bearings if they go bad. Newer fans are literally being made to fail. And fan companies are also making newer fans impossible to work on. Even this Mainstays is a newer fan, but at least you can find cheap parts for fans like this because it has very old school parts on it. Like for example, you can still find globes for this. You can find some very common blade arms in this style. You can find blades for this with the pattern blade holes that it has. And you can put any aftermarket pull chain fobs on this. You can find some still. There's a lot you can do for these cheaper fans like this. As you can see, older fans have traditional light bulbs that you can get when one burns out. You can just go to your local store and just buy another replacement bulb. To whereas for newer fans, all of the fans are going to these integrated LED light kits. And once they go out, it's basically goodbye fan. Unless they have parts out for the newer fans to where you can just get another LED light kit assembly, which I highly doubt it that they do right now. But once it goes out, you're basically out of luck. And you're going to have to get a whole brand new fan, which the average price for a new fan is over $100. And they're also going to DC motors. A lot of newer fans these days are going to DC motors. They're ditching the old AC motors that we all know and love. DC motors, when they get to about 5 years old, there is no way they're going to hold up and last like the old traditional AC motors. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And trying to find somebody who knows how to work on DC motors is going to be challenging because nobody knows how to work on them. Now, some older fans had a bath system to where you could oil bearings like once a year or something like that. To where as for newer fans like this, they come with sealed bearings, and once the bearings go bad, you automatically have to replace them. And to do that, you have to tear the whole fan apart piece by piece just to get to the bearings, which is gonna be a job. And the build quality on a lot of newer fans these days are nothing but sheet metal, and they're very cheaply made. And as for this fan, since it's older, most older fans were made out of really good grade of metal. As you can see, that's real aluminum metal. And this, you can tell that that's sheet metal, not made out of anything. Now, I had a Wellston too, and that fan was so cheaply made that I could take the motor housing and just bend it in half. That's just how cheaply made it was. And newer fans are also going to plastic parts, to whereas for older fans, they had real glass parts. Now, take these light shades, for example. The light shades are glass. And even though this is a little bit newer, the bowl light is also glass. And the schoolhouse light globe on this mainstays is also glass. To where on newer fans, they're plastic. Look at the Rothley 2 and the Wellston 2. The globes on those fans are plastic. Both of those fans have plastic bowl lights. And even the Sidlow has plastic globes. It's really bad how most fan companies are really cheapening out on their fans. Especially Hampton Bay. They are literally building fans to where you can't even work on them yourself and fix them. Now with fans like the Sidlow and the Rothley 2 and the Wellston 2, when those plastic bowl lights melt due to the light bulbs, where are you going to find another replacement globe at? And imagine when those fans get to about 5-10 years old and the plastic globes start to melt because of the light bulbs. Now, some people say that LED bulbs are safe, but they're not. They're not safe. They're just as bad as the incandescents. Now, LEDs also get hot. And imagine when you're using that fan and over time it starts to melt the plastic globe or the bowl light. That is very risky and it could start a fire because hot heat and plastic do not mix. And plastic also brittles over time and gets old. So imagine when those fans get older with those plastic parts. That's why having good build metal quality and having glass globes or bowl lights is generally more safer than plastic parts. With everything going to plastic, that's really making me question some of these fan brands making these newer fans. So if you don't want to miss a new video on my channel, remember to ring that bell.